Hello and welcome to Sweet Carolina. I'm your host, Kyle Cline.
And I'm Abby Edwards. Well, it's that time of the year again, the time for blood donations.
On Monday, the Blood Connections buses will be rolling onto campus and opening up to receive your donations. They'll be here until Friday.
Okay, so for those of us who have never given before, let's talk a little bit about what would happen if you go up to the buses and decide to volunteer.
All right, well, you'll be taken onto the bus, and a worker will then ask you questions about your health, and they'll test your blood. If you're healthy enough, then you'll lie on a bed and have your blood taken while you watch a movie or listen to some music. The entire process will take about 20 to 30 minutes.
I also heard you get a free t-shirt afterwards, is that right?
That's right. I probably got about 5 or 6 or so stocked up from previous semesters, building my own little collection there.
Last year was the first year I donated blood, and I admittedly was very nervous about it, but the nurse was very kind and put my fears to rest, and I even had a friend who was willing to hold my hand through the whole process.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Very nice.
Well, the whole process is perfectly harmless, and blood donation has been going on for years, so there's nothing to worry about.
Did you know people actually began looking into blood transfusion during World War I? That is how the 4 blood types were discovered. Doctors wanted to find a way to help the injured soldiers.
But it wasn't actually until World War II that they were able to use the blood transfusions, and now transfusions and donations happen all the time.
1 pint can save up to 3 lives, and about 4.5 million Americans need a blood transfusion each year. That's about 1 person every 2 seconds that will need a blood transfusion.
And it takes a lot of blood to save 1 person. Someone in a car accident takes an average of 50 units of blood. Someone in heart surgery needs about 6, and someone going through an organ transplant needs about 40 units.
So let's also talk about some of the ways we can prepare to give.
All right, so first you want to make sure that you're going to eat healthy. A lot of iron-rich foods are really great. Be sure to drink tons of water too the day of, and then make sure the night before you get a good night's rest, and after that you should be good to go.
Sounds easy enough. You also want to make sure to be drinking lots of water afterwards as well, and don't do any strenuous activities for the rest of the day. Just let your body recover.
All right, sounds great. And there's an extra motivation this year for giving blood. Our reporter Maria Irvin will tell us more about that.
Bob Jones University partners with the Blood Connection twice a year for a week-long blood drive.
This year the blood drive is a little different. Bob Jones University is combining with North Greenville University and Furman University to bring in more blood than ever before.
Bob Jones has hosted its own blood drive each semester for many years. And while BJU has brought in an impressive number of units, it's time for the Bruins to step up their game. The student bodies of Furman University and North Greenville University are doing their part to out-donate BJU. Billy Watson, Director of Student Services at NGU, sums up the purpose behind the joint drive.
The goal is to get as much blood, as many pints of blood as you can. So if you can get students motivated any way possible, I think that's a good deal.
But now it's Bob Jones's turn. There has been a great amount of student participation in the past, but this time donating is more important than ever. Paul Bixby of the Blood Connection explains why.
Every school promotes it the way they want to promote it, and then at the end, we just figure out what is a percentage of participation.
Orlin Sergev is in charge of organizing the Furman Drive.
There's a lot of latent, spirited rivalry between all 3 universities, and I think Bob Jones's proposal to kind of tie this to some sort of blood drive competition and campaign was very successful.
Regardless of the winning school, the real winners are those who are helped by the blood collected.
It's not so much about the competition, but just if we can get more blood to help save lives and help the blood bank, I think that's all worthwhile.
We think it's great because ultimately it's going to go for an amazing cause. So the winner of the competition will ultimately be the numerous lives saved by all the blood that will be donated.
If you want to get in on the competition, come out to the University Blood Drive in front of the Alumni Building from noon to 7, October 7th to 11th. And don't forget to use the hashtag BleedBruin. Reporting for Sweet Carolina, I'm Maria Irvin.
Thank you, Maria. Here are the day's top news tweets. Twitter is buzzing with people talking about the government shutdown. The shutdown began October the 1st, the day Obamacare was supposed to take effect. In an effort to block Obamacare, the House is refusing to fund the government. Thousands of government employees have been put on unpaid leave until a solution is reached. All government agencies, memorials, and parks have been closed. Monday, a group of veterans broke through the barricade around the World War II memorial in protest. CNN explains the shutdown in more detail.
It's day 2 of the government shutdown, and the question is, who will blink first? The president has invited key congressional leaders to the White House for discussions. What will come of those talks is anyone's guess. But in the meantime, the government remains unfunded. House Republicans tried to pass measures funding parts of the government individually, but the White House and the Democrat-controlled Senate both shot that idea down.
A piecemeal approach does not deal with the issue. It is an illusion. It is about implying that there's something. What they need to do is pass a continuing funding resolution. We recommend for 6 weeks to get our fiscal solution settled.
What could be an even bigger issue is, as this shutdown goes on, the United States inches closer and closer to the deadline for raising the debt ceiling. One Republican congressman says this entire issue can be solved in one swoop.
There is a strong possibility, if they were willing to at least sit down and listen to us, that we could put a package together to solve all of these problems at once, so we can get the government funded, stop this shutdown, and also deal with the debt ceiling so that we don't have another crisis a week or two away from now.
If this crisis does continue, experts agree that it could be a major drag on the economy. It's estimated that a 3 to 4 week shutdown could cost $55 billion. Another thing worth mentioning, the American people are not amused. A recent poll shows 68% of Americans think shutting down the government was a bad idea. Another poll shows only 10% of the American public approve of the work Congress is doing. I'm Shelby Lynn reporting.
Well, thanks again for watching Sweet Carolina. Be sure to tune in next week.
Also, share with us your blood donation stories and pictures on our Facebook page. Till next week, I'm Kyle Cline.
And I'm Abby Edwards, signing off.